Hey everybody, it's Sprinkles.
And I'm Manic.
And welcome back to
Sprinkles
and Manic.
Yay!
And
+1.
+1. Demi is our +1 here. We are continuing playing Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Yeah, we're on the first case and we're about to do our first cross-examination.
You may begin your cross-examination.
Here we go. All right,
he's hokey French all of a sudden.
I support him.
He changed, yeah.
All right. Let's do this thing.
Heck yeah. Heck
yeah.
Cross-examination, Your Honor? Oh, Phoenix, come on, buddy. All right, right. This is it.
Dramatic
the
music.
Real deal. Yeah, for real. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty?
Dun dun dun.
See, this is why I could never be a lawyer.
This is the part of the game where you need to be paying attention to all the small little details.
True.
Oh,
Stop
crap.
noticing things.
Yeah, true. You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face.
What's that
Super
emotion?
professional.
Okay. Open the court record with tab, then point out contradictions in the testimony. Okay, so this is all the evidence you have. You'll want to read about each of it, and then as you go through, you'll want to see if there's anything that doesn't match.
So there's not extra information of any of these, right?
It's showing you all you can read about each of them right now. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. So going back over, we've got Cindy's autopsy report. Time of death was 7:31, between 4 and 5 p.m. Cause of death was loss of blood due to blunt trauma. And then we have the statue. This is the blunt force object.
Right.
A statue in the shape of the thinker. It's rather heavy. And then the victim apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30, the day before the murder. And then electricity to Ms. Stone's house. Building, whatever. You know what? I can read. Was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime.
Okay. So that's what we're working with. So
remember all those
I would
things.
hit back, and then we'll want to go through. It'll take us through his testimony line by line.
Oh, okay.
Let's look for anything that stands out as a potential lie.
Cross-examination.
Here's the witness's
You know
account.
who he reminds me of? The mask salesman from Majora's
Oh
Mask.
my
He
god!
really does.
That's exactly what
How do you
Luca
point it
said
out?
in her playthrough. I guess he just really is the mask salesman then. That's crazy.
I mean, really,
The
though.
eyes and the smile, like, same exact look.
And the hand pose and everything. Ugh.
Must be based off of the same sort of character. They have to.
I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him.
Okay.
Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. A woman not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. Wait a minute. Didn't he say that he couldn't call?
He did say that. He said he tried to call and the phone didn't work.
Okay, so...
So, interesting. So they didn't explain this yet, but,
Yeah.
So do you see that press button, the Q?
Yes.
If you want to make the witness elaborate more on their statement, you can hit that button and it will force them to talk more. Hold it!
Oh.
Hold it! So you didn't touch anything in the apartment?
Yes, I mean, no, nothing.
Okay. what happened next. Alright, you thought to call the police immediately. So obviously this seems like a weird sort of thing. So if you want, you can press this as well. Sorry, go.
This part, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Because that's the part that confused me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then press it.
So that's what we can press.
Push
okay.
it. Push him.
Hold it! The phone in her apartment wasn't working?
Yes, I mean no. No, it wasn't. Right.
But you said you didn't go into the apartment.
There you go.
Or did you?
Oh, that! I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on a shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call.
And the phone wasn't working. Correct.
I can't get over it.
What happened next?
I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. Okay, I don't think we can do anything. It was 1 p.m. Wait a minute.
Interesting.
Wait a minute.
Done.
1 p.m. Are you certain?
Yes, absolutely.
He seems really confident.
Didn't she die at like?
Done.
Where's her autopsy?
There. See, she died between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Good lawyer.
Almost.
I remember this exactly.
So, in that case, you'll want to return to that statement, and then you want to show 1 p.m. Sorry, Mia's got to be all dramatic now. Right. Doesn't that seem strange to you?
Yes.
Present some evidence to contradict him. So,
Okay.
so yeah, you go ahead and you present.
Here we go.
Here we go. Objection! Objection! You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure?
Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain.
Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap?
This sprite looks so stupid here.
Yeah.
He's so proud.
Oh, that.
Objection! This is trivial! The witness merely forgot the time!
After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? That's a really good question.
Great job, right? Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Heck yeah.
Oh, wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again?
Oh, so he gets to revise it now. Honestly,
The time of discovery.
a lot of these witnesses get a lot more tries than they should.
Like,
Really,
wait
though.
a minute, I remember.
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. I'm terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
All right. Right? You know what to do. I've got this one. All right, here we go, here we go. Let me at him, let me at him.
You see, when I found the body, I heard the time.
Okay.
There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television.
Oh, she's on it. She doesn't need any
Like,
coaching.
nope, this guy's going there.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't necessarily need to elaborate if I know that I know.
No, you don't always have to.
Okay.
Hold it right there! The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video.
The defense has a point.
That's right, I do.
Sir, you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite.
What a guy.
Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. Distraught.
What gave that away?
That is jumping
Apologies, Your
hair.
Honor.
I know.
It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit.
I love just imagining him with this very feminine voice. Like,
Let's hear
It's
your
wonderful.
testimony. Once more, please.
Alright.
Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yes, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. What? It has a... What?
Yeah,
Wait.
this is
That does not have a clock on it, you dumb
lies
dumb.
beget more lives.
Lies really do.
It's like she's already jumping on. She's like, what's this smelly tail? I'm on.
But I can't do anything until the
Yeah,
cross-examination.
you have to listen to the whole thing first before you can do it.
That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock? I guess that would explain
The
it.
judge is the
Like,
most freaking gullible fool. Like, you have to
The
spell
defense
everything
may
out.
cross-examine the witness.
Hey, he's gotta remain objective. It's like, okay, whatever.
Gladly. Phoenix is like, oh, I'm not having this anymore. Hearing the time. Ooh, do you hear that beat in the background? It's like picking up a little. Alright. So.
Well,
There was, so which...
I'm right, but I'm gonna.
Oh, you're
do
gonna
this.
press a little bit. A table
Yeah.
clock? Was there a clock at the scene?
This is the first I've heard of it. Oh,
So,
okay. So this is.
The
I'm
way is
gonna-
this head stay still, though.
hold it! The murder weapon? Are you gonna...
Oh shoot! No, apparently not.
He's just thinking.
I was
man.
sorry. I was thinking. I saw.
Okay, it's a very
That's what I
engrossing
just said.
story.
Did you doze off in the middle of my test?
No, but
something?
Sprinkles might have.
I did. That's for sure.
Something's fishy here. Thanks, Phoenix.
What a guy.
Oh, so
Oh,
make sure,
wait.
make sure you're on the statement that you wanna call out. Objection! Objection! Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue.
Yeah, you dummy.
Now, how is
Durr.
this supposed to be a clock?
What? Yeah, you with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit.
Oh, I get it, because he saw it.
Yeah. Almost all of the names in this game are a pun of some sort.
God,
So,
I can't.
There's a few I'm looking forward to.
yeah, there's...
How long have we been recording this? And I just now got it. Oh my
He even
God.
says the phrase "I saw it" before this.
I
Like
saw
he's
it,
like,
Mr.
"I saw it, I saw it."
Oh.
It's okay,
What a guy.
Sprinkles. We all have our strengths.
Okay.
Recognizing clear puns isn't always mine.
You're a lawyer, you don't need the puns, you just need to know the
Oh yeah.
I don't
The
pay
wholesome
attention to small
testimony.
details all the time.
Well, we'll work on it.
I saw the clock. Or I saw it there, okay? That's a clock.
Oh, Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, Mr. Page.
As the witness stated, the statue is indeed a clock.
He sounds like he's on so much crack right now.
The deck gets a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. It doesn't look like a clock. I submit it as a statue. My apologies.
I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all? Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any more problems with this testimony now? We do still, right?
I mean, do
Do
you
you?
have some
Do
problems?
I have problems? I don't know.
Do you think
Was
it's
there
Does it
anything
seem
that
fair?
this man knew that it was a clock?
Oh yeah, because he wasn't inside.
Oh.
Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hands. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment.
Oh good, it tells you. It does it all by
It's just
itself.
like, yeah,
When you
he's
figure
got
it
it
out.
down. It's like,
I
don't
like
need
it.
you. Players
Clearly
today.
a contradiction. Yeah, sometimes they'll like kind of make
It's
the
building the
little
momentum.
jump.
It's like, oh yeah, we just did it.
Yeah, we got it.
Indeed.
The witness knew it was a clock because he...
Went into the apartment,
That
I-
does seem
right?
most likely.
right?
You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder.
Oh yeah, prove it. Prove I went in there.
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her.
Wow, jumping to conclusions already.
He does that a lot. You
He's a
struck
prosecutor now.
You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there.
Oh, I did?
Nope.
And the shock of the
Yeah.
blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard.
Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh.
Mr. Sawin. The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time.
What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture.
Baseless? Just look at the witness's face.
Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard no, I saw it. I hate
Hey.
Shout out.
Rude.
Shut up, Sprinkles.
Take my name. He hates me. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Burn! Give him death. Order in the court, I say.
Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims.
Mr. Wright,
Your Honor?
you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence?
The whole case is writing on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sod heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... What do you think would help to prove it?
There's a lot at stake here.
Just ask the neighbors, you guys.
Is it here?
When in doubt, you can ask yourself, like, okay, what do we need to know? We think that he heard it, and that because he heard it, he would have thought that the time was 1. So how...
Right.
What would be our best way of figuring out, rather, whether or not...
Well, I guess you would have to know that the clock sounds, first of all.
Yeah, that's fair.
True.
But also, it was like 3 hours behind.
Right, it was.
True.
So will one of these things... I mean, I don't want to, like, give you anything. You gotta decide.
No more. Just gotta do it. This is it.
But
This is the kingpin of the entire trial. You gotta do this.
Oh my god!
Or else Larry Butts gets murdered.
He doesn't get murdered.
Murdered by the justice system, man.
I
Also,
don't know.
if you do see that bar up in the corner at the top, that's how much of a penalty you take if you get it wrong. So if you get it wrong, you're still fine. It's not like
It's
you
your
lose
health
the whole
bar.
case.
Oh, okay.
That's your health bar.
Yes.
So he wants to know if it made a sound, though, right?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Let's sound
I'm
the
gonna
clock
go with...
now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully.
Beep.
I think it's 8:25.
That certainly is a strange way to announce time.
Well, he is the thinker, after all.
So, we've heard the clock. What are your Oh. Sorry, a thing fell in next to my desk. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright?
Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now?
Oh, there we go.
It's 11:25. Ack.
As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death.
So, oh, sorry.
So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one.
You forgot one thing!
Uh-oh, what's he talking about now?
While it may seem like the clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing! How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case!
He's right. How am I gonna prove that? Damn it, I was so close.
Panic said it, swear!
That's the first time I've ever said that word. In
First
my
time
whole
for
life.
everything. Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, I'm playing a character, man. You gotta be true to
It's
it.
acting, you know.
Mr. Wright, seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim.
Yes, Your Honor.
This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately. This ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit. Wait, did we lose?
No.
Oh no.
Not yet. You just couldn't indict him.
Oh. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what You treat me like a criminal! A criminal! Your lawyers are all slime!
Grr, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sawit. Mia! I mean, Chief! Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it.
Well, Mr. Wright, you say that the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim?
Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt.
Ah, tough words! Let's see you pull this one off! Let's see the evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Isn't it just the statue is the evidence, right?
Well,
You can present it then.
yeah, if you
Go for it.
think it's the statue.
Well,
That's very reassuring.
I mean,
Think it through. I mean,
Yeah,
remember,
ponder
isn't the
it.
wrong
Well, I
thing?
think they were talking about-
Entire case is thrown out. You failed.
it
Larry
is not.
Potts.
Okay, you take a little bit of health damage if you choose the wrong object, and then you get another chance. So go with whatever your gut tells you.
okay,
And
well,
this is
they were
better
already
thing.
talking about the battery, right?
They were talking about the batteries, yes.
So that way, if I wanted to present the statue, he'll talk about the batteries. Is what I'm
Perhaps.
assuming.
Certainly possible, yeah.
Just go on ahead.
Thanks.
Follow your gut.
Yeah.
Don't let the
That's fine.
haters.
Excuse me. This proves your claim. How? I can't see what that evidence has to do with the clock.
It is the clock! Go! That wasn't it. One more chance. Give me just one more chance. Sprinkles.
Click.
I'm sorry. I'm like, what the heck? Let's.
She's like, I have to read and figure out the
you
case
know,
at the same time.
There is actually potentially a bit of background knowledge that they don't tell you it in this, though, and I don't know how to tell you it without it making it obvious.
She'll figure it out. She'll
Okay.
figure it out. She's smart. She got this. She knows how these things work. Why would something be 3 hours behind?
Well, it wasn't plugged in.
Well, it runs on batteries, so it's not a matter of
Batteries, yeah.
if it was plugged in or not.
Where
Why
are
was
they
it slow
from?
to begin with?
Where are they from? They're from Los Angeles. Long,
There's some
intense pause.
mad googling going on over there. Like, wait a minute.
No, that time. How far ahead is Paris time?
9
Paris
hours.
is 9 hours ahead of Los Angeles.
Ha
There you go.
The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is not as we all know. Okay, you
As
just
we
Everyone.
all
as we all know. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast.
Done.
The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It? Or should I say, Mr. Did It?
So bad.
I love it. Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
Rip.
rip.
He's a skunk.
Ripperoonies.
Well, he's dead.
Order!
Oh?
Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness?
He was arrested. Has been taken away, Your Honor.
That's unfortunate.
Very well. Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time!
Thank you, Your Honor.
At this point, it is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts.
Not guilty.
I like confetti in courtrooms. It's
I
great.
love it.
Totally how it works.
Did you know there's
And
actually
with
lore
that-
behind where that confetti comes from?
Nope.
You know,
Court
you're
is
gonna have to say
adjourned.
what that is.
Uh,
There's Lord of the freaking confetti.
There is Lord of the freaking confetti.
why is there Lord of the freaking confetti?
You'll. I think they tell you in game eventually.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we'll find out.
Yeah. All right.
Uh-huh.
Court's adjourned, guys.
We did
Turns
it!
out that Frank saw it was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sott let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sott grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. There it is. All over again.
In case you forgot.
August 3rd, 2:32. Defendant lobby number 2. Yeah. Whew, I still can't believe we won.
Yay!
All right. Good job in there.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. Oh,
No.
he is a cutie. I love her. And if she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel.
My life is over.
Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now?
Aw, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'm dead and gone soon.
Good. Wait, no! I mean, bad! Bad, bad, bad! Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed.
But my Cindy Winnie's gone, man. Gone forever.
No.
Aw. Larry, she was a... never mind. Congratulations, Harry.
Harry?
Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Oh my god.
Didn't see that one coming.
Sprinkles, oh my god.
That's how Sprinkles died, everyone. Now went home.
It's amazing.
I love it. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's so good.
Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat.
Aw, stop hitting on Mia. Oh, no, I couldn't.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't blame him, but also, like, stop.
mm.
Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook.
Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present.
What?
A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that...
Actually, I made this clock for her. Made one for her and one for me.
Really? You? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento.
Yo, Nick.
His face.
Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't make me wanna cry.
Larry. Aren't you so sure?
Excuse me?
I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way.
I think you're projecting.
No, give it a second.
Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me. It's okay.
Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him?
No.
Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about?
I don't know.
It's the autopsy report. They cut her heart open. It's like, wow, look at all-
I mean, what of the evidence do we have that would indicate that she maybe cared about him?
The fact that she had the statue?
Yeah, I mean, you made it for her, right? Take that! Take that! Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her.
Huh? What about that clock?
This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled.
Whatever. She probably just needed a clock, that's all.
Think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will.
Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Dang.
Hope that made him feel a little better.
Ooh,
Alright.
he's a drama llama.
Right. I hope you see the importance of evidence now.
No.
No, I don't get it.
What?
Also, hopefully you realize things change depending how you look at them.
I guess.
People, too.
Foreshadowing?
Perhaps. We never
Mm.
really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them.
Believe in the heart of the cards.
Yeah, man. You gotta believe in the heart of the client cards.
The client card.
And in order
Y'all need to
believe
watch
in
some
them,
stinking Yu-Gi-Oh, man.
You have to believe in yourself.
Make me.
Mia's trying to be sentimental and you're just making a bunch of jokes.
Come on, Mia, you're talking too
Right.
much. We don't even have a picture.
Listen, learn, grow strong.
Live and learn, hanging on the edge
Never
of
let go of what you
tomorrow.
believe in. Never. Well, I think
Now
our
there's
work
a
here is
picture.
done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so.
So, when do I
Say,
cut off the dialogue?
How about dinner on me when we get to the official end of the case? We'll
Oh,
drink
okay,
Yeah.
there's an official end.
Yeah, we'll drink a toast to
course.
innocent butts.
Yeah!
My favorite thing to toast is innocent butts.
Here's to butts.
Yeah! Oh, speaking of Harry. You were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part, at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? Heck yeah! And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick!"
Gee, Nick.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. I had to go for it.
But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep.
Oh. Foreshadowing.
The end of case
Oh.
1.
That was the entire game. It's over.
Well, what'd you think? A brand new
Wow, a
episode
brand
has
new
been
episode.
added.
Look how cute oh, I want a blazer like that. Not quite as I would not be
Look at
quite as
that
exposed
man,
as
he's
that. But
changed.
look at the cute little heart.
If you had a little like
The
undershirt going on, it could be good. It could be good.
Exactly. Like a little collared shirt or something.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know. Or
There
even
it
like a
is.
cute little cami. I don't know.
Oh yeah, possibilities abound, man.
Exactly. But it looks cute. I want a blazer with hearts on it.
Me too.
Relatable sentiment, honestly. All right, so I guess that's probably a good place to end this one, I'm assuming.
Just maybe,
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I guess it
This
seems
is the
pretty.
end of a case.
Finish the
so
arc,
end of
you
an
know.
episode, probably.
We did it! I did it!
You did it! You did your first case.
Mm.
What are your thoughts? Like, what? I know it was just a tutorial, and so it's like a very simplified version. But like, what are your thoughts so far?
It's definitely one of those, it's not as straightforward as you think it would be at first.
That's
Mm.
fair.
Like,
Yeah.
some of the early questions were very straightforward,
Mhm.
and then later I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it definitely will require you to think, and that becomes more and
Yep.
more true as it goes on. It gets genuinely tricky eventually.
Which is a little scary
Yep.
because I'm not always great at thinking.
But we will be here to help you. And
Will you though?
yes, we will. Like,
Will you help me though?
I
I
mean,
mean, we'll
we're-
just sit here and be like, ha ha ha,
we're
make
gonna-
your choice, ha ha ha.
like, we'll let you make mistakes and learn from them, but like, we're
Like,
not gonna.
are you sure? Go for it, why not?
We won't let you like screw yourself over or anything.
I mean,
Thanks.
even if you do lose, it really doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah,
You
there's
just
not
start
a whole
back
lot
a little
of
bit.
consequences. So, all right,
Cool.
I guess that does it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys.
Like and share and sub it and
Leave a comment down below. Follow Demi on social
On Twitch?
media or Twitch or
Twitch.
something.
follow his
May-
Twitch.
might stream eventually.
He'll
Yeah.
stream at
At
3:30
15
a.m. Eastern
followers,
time.
we do a stream
Heck yeah, let's do it.
One day, Demi.
Oh,
one
yeah.
day.
All right. See you next
Bye-bye.
time. Bye.
Bye.